Hi guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another Get Ready With Me. And in today's Get Ready With Me, I'm gonna be focusing on kind of all of my Pendos palettes and products that I'm currently panning. And we're gonna be talking about and hopefully picking what I'm gonna be panning next year. I'm gonna create a poll on my channel and or like the post page on my channel, and I will leave a link to that in the description. It's going to be the first thing in the description so that's easier to find, and you can vote what palette or palettes you think I should be focusing on next year. I have a couple options. Some of those would be just rolling over from this year, and some could be new products, but honestly I would just like to kind of finish the things that I'm working on this year. So we're gonna kind of go back and forth while doing my Get Ready With Me, while doing my makeup, and hopefully we'll find a solution. I have my own pick and like reasonings for that, so I'm gonna discuss that in this video. But also, if your vote will not reflect my decision, and if it's gonna be something interesting, I might change up my mind. But first up, I'm gonna get into my autumnal BYOP because I have two shades. One of them is actually from my Panda palette, and it's the shade Noir from Christmas Eve, and I'm gonna mix that with the shade Losers Club from the Shroud Cosmetics Hello Beam palette. I've been mixing these two for the past week and a half in my brows, and they've been working really well for me. So that's kind of what I'm gonna do to start. And I need to pluck my brows, but I'm gonna do that after this video. Anyways, so yeah, the Christmas Eve palette, I think I will finish this year. Like I really want to try. I only have two shades left, if you don't know that, but my Pendos palettes update went out like 2 weeks ago now. At least for you, I think it should be 2 weeks. And so I don't think I'm like spoiling anything. So yeah, I would really like to use that one up, and since we only have two shades, the two shades are matte shades, but I'm using them quite often for my like daily looks, and obviously I'm using the gray one every single day in my brows. And I've been noticing that the pan hasn't expanded too much, but I'm really lowering down the amount of product that is in the pan. Like it's really become super shallow in the pan, so I think we are getting a good progress. It's just not as visible from like pictures, but it is visible for me. Like I can definitely tell that I'm using up quite a lot of product, and that makes me very happy because obviously those two shades I do want to finish so that I can count the entire palette empty for my like empties this year, and also in my eyeshadow bag. And you know, it's just I've been working on that palette for so long. It's been in my Panda palette project for this year, last year, and I think that's it, or maybe it's 3 years. I'm not completely sure. It's been so long, and I've loved that palette, but also like it's time to move on, you know. There is something like too much fun, and I just want to focus on other products. And I think main reason for that is the fact that obviously when you pan a palette, you first pan the shades that are your like favorites, and at the end you're left with your not so favorite shades, which it doesn't mean that these shades are bad. I actually still like them, but they're just not the best shades from that palette. So of course I'm gonna be a little bit more tired of it, and also I've been working on that palette for forever. And I'm gonna use the Super Light Brow Glue. This is not technically in a project pan, but I usually only have like one brow glue open at a time, because how many of these products do you really need? Like I only have one. Technically I do have one brow wax, but that one is horrible and I'll declutter it I just, since it's so close to the end of the year, I'm gonna wait for my yearly declutter. But if it would be a couple months ago, I would just immediately throw it into the trash because that one is so bad. Yeah, and I really need to block my brows. I haven't done that in like 2 weeks because I've been kind of sick. I've been moving and doing a lot of things, so it wasn't really, I didn't really have the time to do my brows. And also because I've moved, I'm not completely sure where my tweezers are. Like, they are somewhere, I'm just not fully sure. Because I was so keen on organizing everything in this room that it was a little bit more haste than it should be, and now I don't know where things are, so that wasn't a great idea on my part. I'm gonna use the Skechers Grip to Last eyeshadow primer that I'm unofficially trying to ban because I've noticed that I have a bit too much of primer options, so maybe I should kind of go through some of those. And this one is a very light, liquidy primer. Okay, so the eyeshadows that we're gonna use. I want to use that one shade that I still have left from the Christmas Eve palette, the other one, which is called Just Now, and it's this green. So I'm gonna use it all over the lid. I've been lately using it kind of all over the lid, even for looks that aren't green. Just to use it up eventually. Been working on it. I think I'm gonna repress this into a different palette because I only have this shade left here, so I just want to kind of throw away the packaging. It feels like it takes too much space. I know it's a small little 5 pen palette, but it takes space and I don't want it to take the space. So, and this is a great shade, like it works with my eye color really well. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just, I've been working on so many greens this year. I've been working on the Tinkerbell palette from ColourPop, the Merry Christmas palette from Odin's Eye. Like, there has been so many green shades to the point that I'm a little bit tired of green. But yeah, I'm gonna use it all over, everywhere. And then I'm gonna deepen it up with the shade Nowhere, which was the gray shade. So my first kind of task for myself is to repress the Just Now shade into a different palette. I have one actually in this project that I'm going to talk about in a minute. I'm going to use some of the shades there. So I'm going to show you where I'm going to repress it. I don't think I'm going to film it because it's just one shade. I don't have anything else that I would like to repress, so it feels a little wasteful to film. Like, I don't think anyone would be interested in that. Maybe I'm gonna film it as a reel or something, but I'm undecided on that. And I've been really trying to incorporate these in most looks, not just like in my brows and stuff, but like for the majority of looks, just so that I actually can do it, because obviously we have a little bit more than a month left. And I want to make sure that I will be able to hit that goal. So this palette is not eligible for the voting because I am hoping that it will be finished by the end of the year. So this one's not gonna continue, hopefully. I really don't want to be working on this for the next year, because that would be a bit too much, I think. Like, it would be too long to work on a palette. And I also don't wanna like keep this palette in case I have one shade left. Like, I don't wanna keep one shade from a palette that I've been panning for years and years and years. So I'm just gonna do everything to pan it this year. I don't hate panning or anything, I'm just seeing how much I can incorporate it into my looks. And I don't know if you can see, but this one is also getting really shallow in the pan. Like it's just this tiny little thing. Should I wait for the repressing after my Panda palette update? Because it's gonna be at the end of November. Maybe I should wait for it, right? And repress it right after the update. So those are the two. Another palette, and that is the palette that I will repress the green shade into, is the Shelly Makeup Liana. This is how it looks like, and obviously I have this spot left, so I would just use this palette and it would be easier for me to show. So I'm gonna use Shimmer Primer. I have the Cleonat Shine On Shimmer Primer, so I'm gonna use that one. And Liana I would also like to finish this year. It seems a little bit harder because obviously one of them, I think the shimmers will be easy, even though I still have quite a bit of them, but I've been working on them a lot lately and actually using them a lot, and I think I can do that. I've been also using them on my nails. I do have the silvery one over a deep brown, like cocoa nail polish, and I think it looks really nice. It's kind of taupey. It looks very festive in a way. So I can use these very easily on my nails and on my eyes. The only problem shade, I think, will be the green. I'm a little scared of that one. I don't know if I'm going to be able to finish that one up, but I would really like to finish up the Liana. I'm going to use the shade Full Bloom in the outer corner. So it's this really deep green shade, very like army green. I'm just gonna use that in the outer corner. So Liana hopefully will not be eligible as well, but I'm losing my faith that I'm gonna be able to completely finish it. But if I'll only have the matte green shade left at the end of the year, I'm just gonna finish it in January and be done with it, because the other palettes I'm thinking about don't really have green shades. And even though I am quite bored of greens lately, I still wear them once in a while, so one green shade wouldn't be too hard for me to incorporate into my looks. And I can use it in the same way that I use this, the green shade that I used today, just as a base for other things. Now, the palette that I'm thinking about putting in my project pan for next year, because it is in my project pan this year, for the first time, is the Salmon Tupac from Oden's Eye. This year I just wanted to hit pan on every single shade, so I'm almost there. And next year I will try to finish as many shades as I can. I think that's my goal for next year. Obviously some of these are quite close to being finished. I'm gonna use the shade Deep Space as my main shimmer shade, because that's the only one that I don't have a pan on. So because this palette is quite old, and I think it technically is expired, I think it expired this summer, I do want to get as much use of it as I can before it's gonna start feeling really bad. Like obviously the quality isn't as amazing as it was years ago, and also now the quality of eyeshadows that you get is just better than this. But it's still okay, it still performs. There are some shades that I've never really liked too much for their quality, but most of them are genuinely wonderful, and it's a colorful palette, so it really doesn't depend on my mood so much, because the other palettes that I've had this year were very monochromatic and mostly green, which was a mistake, because even though I do like wearing greens, I don't wear them every day. I wear them like maybe once, twice a week if I really push myself, but usually I like to switch it up and use different colors on the different days and kind of go through the entire rainbow every single week. So because this is a rainbow palette, there is a good chance that I would have a great progress every single month, and I would be able to use every single shade a couple times. And then obviously there are shades that I'm more focused on in different seasons. So like I'm more into blues and like pale shades around winter. I'm really into pastels in the spring. I love bright colors in summer. I love earthy tones in autumn, as most people do it that way. So like obviously I have my preferences, but for the most part I kind of use all the shades. It's just more like the hue and the saturation that I switch up based on seasons. So my main Panda palette for next year, like the one that I'm thinking about, is this one. And then I don't know if I'm gonna add another palette to this or if it's just gonna be this one, because obviously all the years before I was working on multiple palettes. I don't want to work on too many palettes, so either it's gonna be one or two. I don't want to do more than that. Now I'm gonna use the Silver Snake from Deliana, and I'm gonna use it not in the inner corner but in the inner part of the crease, because this one is too dark for me in the inner corner. Like it has a bit of a dark base, so if I use it in the inner corner it creates kind of like, it flashes too dark in certain lights and it almost looks like a bruise on me. So I'm just gonna use it in this inner part. So my kind of thought process is to have the Salmona as the main palette, and then maybe, because I've been working also on this Beauty Bay Mini Charms palette all year, and I was able to hit pan on every single shade. I have one shade completely used up. I think I'm gonna be able to use up like one or two more shades maybe. So I was thinking using these two because obviously I don't have that many shimmer shades in the, I mean it's half and half mattes and shimmers I guess from the Salmona 2 palette, but they're mostly mid-tones. I only have one or two inner corner shades, so I thought that maybe this one would be great for the lighter tones, and also I use this kind of like a highlighter every single day. So I thought that maybe it would be a nice addition. And I could even maybe franken some of the shades because I have one slot here that is left, and maybe by the end of the year I could use up another shade from this palette. So I'm kind of thinking about that. I'm gonna use this center shade called Cosmic, I believe, because that's one of the shades that I have the most chances of finishing this year. So that's kind of what I'm going for today. It's a very light blue shade. They do enjoy a lot. So that's my current plan. I have a couple palettes I technically could pull as my Pandos palettes because they've been used quite a lot. And I'm gonna show them to you in a minute. I think I'm gonna finish up this look on my own, or maybe I'm just gonna walk you through it really quickly. So I think the waterline pencil I'm gonna use is the Udens Eye Salmona gel liner in the shade 11, because I've been working on this one and oh my gosh, it broke. I only have this tiny little amount left and it actually broke in the middle, well, at the base, sorry, but we're still gonna use it. I still want to finish it. So I've been using this one a lot. I do like to use white eyeliner, like waterline pencil, quite a bit, so it makes sense that it's in my year-long project pan. Then my concealer is gonna be the Maybelline Superstay Concealer in the shade 10. I've been working on it all year and it's still not finished. Obviously I only use this, like that's the only way that I use this, because I don't actually like wearing concealer or foundation all over my face, so I just go over my under eye area and that's all. But also I've been using this all year, and it had a couple of uses from last year as well, and I use it every single day. It's the only concealer, unless I'm trying something new, it's the only concealer that I wear. It's still not finished. Like, I'm also getting scared. Like, I thought I'm gonna finish it I'm gonna finish it this year, but now I'm getting scared that it's not gonna happen because it doesn't want to get used up. Blush is gonna be the Revolution Fast Base Blush in the shade Peach, that I have only this much left. And I'm getting to the bottom, like you can see the little dot in the middle. So also this is another product that I've been using all the time now, since I know that the year is getting closer to the end, and like if I'll finish it in 2 weeks, then that's great, and I have all of the rest of November and the whole December to just play with other stuff. But if it's gonna take me more than that, at least I know I really tried, and hopefully I really wanna use it up this year. Like, these are the products that I would love to use up, and I'd rather really focus now on them and then have kind of like a vacation almost, than procrastinate and have them roll over to the next year. Because I do kind of want to not minimize my collection, but I would like to get rid of a couple products by using them up completely. So that's for the blush, and highlighter is obviously gonna be the Beauty Bay Mini Charms palette, and I think since we already used the shade Cosmic, I think I'm gonna use Aurora as my face highlight. It just works so well with the blush, and it's another shade that is close to being finished, or like I'm at least halfway there. And I want to start using it on my eyes more as well. But it's been looking amazing as a face highlighter. I think I've used it like 50 or 60 times already. I obviously don't use it just on my face, but also on my eyes, but a majority of the uses were on my face. And I'm gonna use the Catrice Glam & Doll Volume Mascara. And this one is almost finished. I think within like a week it will be done, because it's been getting a bit more clumpy, a bit more dry, and harder to apply. And that's usually where when I kind of declutter the mascaras, because that means that they have been used quite a bit, and I have used it I think 40 times now, so it's completely fine. That's usually how long it takes me to use up a mascara, and I don't like to use it for too long. Like 2 months is usually the maximum. I don't like to go over that, because obviously it goes right into your eye, and I don't want to risk I don't want to risk infections and stuff like that. It's not worth it. That's why I never buy expensive mascaras, because realistically, even if I were to use it every single day, which I do, until it's completely dry, which I do, it doesn't take more than like 45-50 uses. So these are all the products. I don't think I'm gonna put on lipstick, because my lips are really dry, so I just have Vaseline on, and I don't want to disrupt my lips. So the plan for me is the Summoner 2 from Odin's Eye. I'm gonna have pans in every single shade. I'm pretty sure like there's only one shade left, and I am getting a good dip on it. So that's the plan, and I think I'm gonna add the Beauty Bay Mini Charms. Either I'm gonna put it as a panda palette, or it's gonna be in my rolling project pen, which I want to start next year. That's another thing you can be excited about. Or maybe I'm just gonna pan it on the side, but I do want to finish those shades as well. And then this one is hopefully gonna be finished. And the Christmas Eve is hopefully gonna be finished as well. And now let me show you technically the other options. So technically the other options could be the Haggard Ecstasy of Saintes, because this is a 5-pan palette. It's all pink, and I actually don't have any pink shades in the Salmon palette, so it would be a great addition, and I would have the entire kind of rainbow, and it also has a brown shade, which looks great on my brows, by the way. And it's a small palette. It was in my project level up for level 5. So this one might, it also has a light pastel-y pinky shade, which would look good with a couple different shades in this palette. So this one is an option, and it will be a great kind of like companion palette, but maybe I'm just gonna roll it later in the year if I'm gonna have a lot of shades finished already. And another option would be the Glam Shop Sorbet palette, because this one already has a couple pans. It has 1, 2, 3 pans. It's mostly a shimmer palette, so it will be way easier for me to use. I love all of these shimmers. I do use them a lot. Like every single time I use this palette, I mainly go for the shimmers. And then the shades, like I can technically set my lids with this, even though I'm not known to do that, but I could. I can use this in my brows. And then these two look either great as a blush mixed with this, or I can use them obviously as eyeshadows. So this one wouldn't be too hard to pan because it's mainly a shimmer palette, but it's not that old, so I would rather work on the Salmone because it's old and technically expired. And then another option, which I would love to have as my Panda palette 1 year later in the future, because it's still not that old, but it will be a wonderful thing to work on because it's great, is the Dragon Eye palette from Ulta Beauty. I do love to use this palette. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 pans, and I'm gonna have 4 more pans because it's so I have 4 pans, and I think I'm gonna create more pans this year as well. And this one would be great to use. You have warm tones, you have cool tones, and I love the shimmers here, and it's a very easy palette to reach for. So one day this could technically be a Panda palette. So these are the options. I'm gonna leave them all in the poll. I think we have 5 options in the poll, right? So 1 palette, another one, and then it's either gonna be this one on its own or together with this one. So that's 5 options, and I would really appreciate if you could vote down below which of these options is more agreeable for you. What would you like to see me pan? I do hope it's gonna be the Salmone because, as I said, it's the oldest, so I would like to get a couple more uses before it's gonna expire. I don't know if it's gonna last me all year or if it's gonna get bad sooner. Like only time can tell. And if I'll notice, if it's gonna be my Panda palette for next year, and I'll notice eventually, like midway through, that it's getting really expired, or I'm gonna see any disturbance, any mold or anything, I'm immediately stopping and throwing it away. I don't want to work on a palette that is expired and visibly has signs of that. But as long as it's gonna act and look normal, I want to keep using it. It still smells okay, so I think it should be good. And I would like to finish a couple of shades. Like I would like to finish pretty much this entire 6-pan, this shade, the black shade. I think I can finish, and I do quite like this purple, so if I could finish those, that would be amazing. I don't think I'm ever gonna be able to finish the blue shade. Like, that one is so hard. This one also is quite hard to use for me. It's not really a shade that I enjoy, and I don't really enjoy the shade Neptune, so those I probably will not finish next year or any year. But if I would use up at least like half of the palette, that would be amazing feat. So yeah, let me know down below. Let me know what you think about this look. Obviously it's quite dark and a bit moodier, but I just wanted to use these and have a bit of fun with them. They are quite sparkly. I actually really like the sparkle of these. It looks a bit mermaidy. So vote down below, let me know what you think, and if you already know what you want to pan next year, in case you do like project panning, write it down below. Maybe I have the same projects and maybe we could work on the same things. So have a great day. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I'll be super happy to see you tomorrow for another video. Bye guys.